WLBT Jackson mayoral debate.
Good evening and welcome to Jackson State University's Rose E. McCoy Auditorium for tonight's Jackson mayoral debate. Sponsored by Jackson State University, the Jackson Chamber of Commerce, and of course WLBT. I am Maggie Wade. We're a little over 2 weeks away from the special election to fill the city's top post, and we're going to take questions from our panelists about some of the pressing issues and concerns here in the city of Jackson. At this time, I'd like to introduce the candidates participating tonight in alphabetical order. Margaret Barrett-Simone represents Ward 7 on the City Council. She was first elected to the council in 1985. John Horn is a state senator and is currently serving in his 6th term. He's been in public office since 1993. Harvey Johnson Jr. was elected in 1997. He made history by being elected Jackson's first African-American mayor. He was re-elected in 2001 and in 2009. Chokwe Antar Lumumba is an attorney and managing partner for Lumumba, Freelon, and Associates. He is also the son of the late mayor, Chokwe Lumumba. Melvin Priester Jr. Melvin Priester is currently president of the Jackson City Council. He is a licensed attorney and has been since 2004. Regina Quinn is a practicing attorney with more than 27 years of experience. Mrs. Quinn has also served as Special Assistant Attorney General for the state of Mississippi. Tony Yarber, Ward 6 Councilman, received his bachelor's degree in elementary education from the University of Southern Mississippi and an MS in Education Administration and Supervision from Jackson State University. And now to those asking the questions for us tonight, our 3 panelists. From Jackson State University, Political Science Professor Dr. DeAndre Ori. Representing the Jackson Chamber of Commerce, Ross Riley, who is also editor of the Mississippi Business Journal. And from WLBT, my colleague and co-anchor, Howard Ballou, who started covering Jackson News 30 years ago. Before we get to the questions, we want to emphasize some of the rules for tonight's debate. We ask members of the audience to refrain from any applause or other expressions of support for or against any of the candidates. We will have to stop the debate if that happens, and that will only take away time from the candidates tonight. Also, we want to remind you that we will have questions as well from our viewers, and we want to begin right now, and I have the honor of asking the very first question tonight to set the stage for our debate. Each candidate will have 2 minutes to answer, and here's the first question. Why do you want to be mayor of the city of Jackson? Mrs. Barrett-Simone, we begin with you.
Thank you. First, let me thank you and WLBT, Jackson State, and the Chamber of Commerce for hosting us tonight. I'm running for mayor of Jackson because I know this city. I know how city government works. I have the important relationships that will move us in a positive direction. I know how to bring people together for the common good. And I also know what failures have been in the past and what challenges remain for us. I don't have a hidden agenda beyond the good of Jackson. I'm not in it for glamour or the power. I only want to serve you as mayor and to use what I have learned over the last 29 years to keep us moving without delay. As we discuss the future of our city tonight, I hope to tell you about my record of getting things done for my ward for nearly 3 decades. I'm going to tell you about my plans for addressing some of the real challenges that we're facing. And we're going to take an honest look at some of the things that have or have not worked in the past. Most important, I want all of us to remember, as we debate the issues and plans and ideas that are on the table, we must work together. Everyone's ideas matter, and it's going to take each one of us looking to our left and our right and saying, let's get to it. Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you, Mr. Warren.
Good evening. It's great to be here. You know, I grew up in Jackson, Mississippi, but I was born in a little place called Goodman, Mississippi. When I was 3 weeks old, my parents moved us to Jackson. We lived in Midtown. We lived in Georgetown. I grew up from Indian Grove Addition. I currently live in the Woodhaven subdivision. I've committed my life to the city, especially in my professional life. My parents taught me the value of hard work, of being creative, of being committed to public service. My father is rather an icon in this state, having been a pioneer in the labor movement as well as being involved with the election of all kinds of people, countless of individuals throughout Mississippi. My focus in the Senate has been on economic development because there are not many folks who look like me who focus on economic development. In the course of the last 21 years, I've brought $450 billion in projects to the state of Mississippi with the help of my colleagues in the legislature, but I provided the leadership to get those projects. One of the first projects I was able to do was JSU Metro Parkway, which is 2 blocks from where we are right now. This parkway has been a game changer for Jackson State. Another big and important piece of legislation was the 1 cent sales tax. You know, I provided the leadership to get that 1 cent sales tax done. I was able to do it with the help of many members of the legislature. But, you know, we were able to do it without raising your grocery bills, without raising your prescription medicines, and we gave you the right to vote. And it's good that the city, after 2.5 years of the bill being passed, finally put the vote up to the people. I think I have the way forward in this city. I think I offer an alternative leadership that's proven, that's hardworking, that's energetic, and that's creative. Thank you.
Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Maggie, and thank all of you for being here tonight. You're here because you're interested in the future of our great city, so I appreciate you being here. I certainly appreciate the Jackson Chamber of Commerce as well as WLBT and Jackson State for sponsoring this event. I'm running for mayor because I've demonstrated skills and ability to make sure that our city continues to move forward. I'm a public servant who has dedicated over 4 decades using the knowledge and the skills and the experience God has allowed me to gain to do my part in working to make the lives of citizens better. Working with citizens, as your mayor, I built a solid foundation in Jackson through economic development with the construction of the Jackson Convention Center and the creation of the Equal Business Opportunity Program for minority-owned businesses. I built a solid foundation working with citizens through infrastructure development by investing over $200 million in improving our water and sewer system without a sales tax increase, and by construction of the Robert Smith Metro Parkway, which created a better access to West Jackson and Jackson State University. I built a solid foundation through neighborhood development with the revitalization of Western Plaza, and by supporting and promoting affordable housing throughout our city, Mid-City, Midtown, South Jackson, West Jackson, Verdant Addition, working with nonprofit organizations like Habitat for Humanity, like Mississippi Housing Partnership, like the Mount Calvary Ministries, and North Midtown Partners. I built a solid foundation through human development with the creation of jobs through the Jobs for Jacksonian program, where we've been actually hired hundreds of people to help them find work. My commitment to you is simple. I want to continue to build on our city's foundation. I want to continue to work to make sure that the quality of life is increased here in the city of Jackson. I ask for your prayers, your vote, and your support on April 8th.
Mr. Lumumba.
Thank you. I am attorney Shokwe Antar Lumumba, another Christian brother with an African name. Listen, 7 months ago, you were told that the election of Mayor Lumumba would lead to the divide of the city. Today, we stand with greater unity than we have ever seen. I understand the principles that my father was committed to and which guided his leadership. We fundamentally believe that when you provide people with the proper information and the opportunity, the people will make the right decisions. That was no better exemplified with the 1% sales tax. Tonight, you will hear specifics concerning the People's Platform and what it has accomplished and what it will accomplish. We will talk about infrastructure, economic development, and education. You will hear my opponents talk about experience. The only thing that I am inexperienced in is being a politician. And that was the same for Mayor Lumumba. We understand that leadership comes less from ambition, political ambition, and more from necessity. It is necessary that we continue on the vision that we have set forth on. It is necessary that the people's voice be heard. It is necessary that the leadership be committed to that. April 8th, vote for Lumumba and make the statement that the people's mission continues.
Mr. Priester.
Thank you, Maggie. And I want to say thank you to JSU and WLBT and you in the audience and at home for participating in this process. Again, I'm City Council President Melvin Priester, and I'm running for mayor for 4 reasons. Number 1, I'm a problem solver. I've been a problem solver on City Council. I've been a problem solver in my private business. And I think it's important to have a problem solver be your mayor for obvious reasons. We have got some serious problems in our city. We are trying to take a 1% sales tax that will only generate $15 million worth of revenue and use that to solve hundreds of millions of dollars worth of problems. You need a problem solver as your mayor. Number 2, I'm rooted in the community. What does that mean? I'm the grandson of a woman named Bernie Stimley, who had a grocery store in Georgetown, back when black people had very few, if any, businesses. I know what it's like to try to raise something from nothing in this city and have the city treat you like an enemy rather than a friend. I'm rooted in this community, and because I'm rooted in this community, you know that I will act with integrity and with compassion for everyone in this city. Number 3, I love Jackson. I came back to Jackson after getting my law degree because I was frustrated about where Jackson was. I see a better path for our city, and my love of the city motivates me to be your next mayor. And number 4, I'm running for mayor because I have a plan. I have a plan to deal with infrastructure. I have a plan to deal with education. I have a plan to deal with crime, and I look forward to sharing these plans with you tonight. Again, my name is Melvin Priester Jr., and I ask to be your next mayor.
Mrs. Quinn.
Thank you, Maggie. And I too want to thank WLBT and to thank the Jackson Chamber of Commerce as well as Jackson State University, my home for over 10 years as its first general counsel. I've called Jackson home all of my life, from growing up on Ridgeway Street to becoming the first general counsel of Jackson State University. We face a lot of problems here in Jackson, and many more are sure to come. But I believe that with the right leadership, Jackson can be the home of our hopes and dreams. Now, in a short period of time, Mayor Lumumba was able to bring about a sense of unification and hope to our city that we had not seen in recent history. However, my vote, should you give me the opportunity to be your next mayor, I would not only build upon that vision, but I'll expand it. Now, the 4 things that I want to do for Jackson, that I will do, 4 things that are on my checklist. First, we will clean up the city. We will fix what is broken. We will plan effectively and efficiently for the city. And no new taxes. Jackson, you've done your part. You were gracious enough to vote 90% for the local option sales tax, a project that I helped Mayor Lumumba in terms of strategizing to get that done. You've done your part. Now it's time for government to do its part. I'm asking you to join me as we move Jackson together. I'm asking that on April the 8th, you vote Regina Quinn, Mayor of Jackson. Thank you.
Mr. Yarber.
Thank you, Maggie. Thank you, Jackson State University Chamber. Thank you to WLBT. My name is Tony Yarber. I'm excited to offer myself as mayor for the city of Jackson. The question is why, and I've come up with several reasons. One of the most recent reasons that I was reminded of today, I was looking at a picture of when I was just over a year old, and my mother was holding me standing at the spillway at the reservoir. It was during the Easter flood of 1979, and my daddy was a construction worker who was running a 942 backhoe for Bond Construction. And I'm considering the fact that my daddy and my mother, who worked down at Packard Electric and was a member of the union, that they represent everyday people. And those everyday people need a voice in City Hall. Everyday people need an opportunity to know that when things are happening at City Hall, that everyday people are being considered in that regard. Ladies and gentlemen, our city has great opportunity. has opportunity to become the Mecca of the South. And how do we do that? We do that by this sure, true infrastructure improvement that we've talked about all this time. We do this by reducing crime. We do this by ensuring that we have a world-class educational system. And this helps to stabilize our economy, and it makes Jackson the place that everyone wants to live, everyone wants to work, and everyone wants to call home. So we are sending an appeal, a clarion call, that, ladies and gentlemen, Jackson, Mississippi is the place to be. And we're on the move. You need leadership who is prepared to lead us there. I am submitting to you that I am that candidate. My name is Tony Yarber, and I need your support on April 8th.
At this point, the panelists will pose questions directly to specific candidates. You'll have 2 minutes to answer those questions. We begin with Dr. DeAndre Ori from Jackson State.
Thank you, Maggie. This question is for Mr. Harvey Johnson. Mr. Johnson, Mayor Lamou